this distortion guitar tune is just timeless. So, who in late 80s didn't want to be a ninja? With so many martial arts movies coming out, it was perfectly normal that the video game industry of the time would follow that tendency. Set in the 20th century New York City, this action and puzzle adventure title, initially published by System 3 software for all home computers of the time, has the most beautiful isometric graphics ever seen on a Spectrum game. And it can be sometimes really frustrating with some highly complicated puzzles to solve, but with some persistence we will triumph and defeat once and for all the main villain, Kunitoki. Or maybe not? There was a limited edition of Last Ninja 2 that inside the box offered also a ninja mask and a soft plastic shuriken. Unfortunately, I never got my hands on one of those. The Ninja Gaiden franchise comes a long way. Played so freaking much the arcade original from 1988 that, as you know, here in Europe was known as Shadow Warriors, that, being such a huge arcade smash, ended up being ported in early 90s to the most popular home computers and consoles. So I obviously got my hands on a pirated copy of the Amiga version and I simply loved it. 16 years after the original arcade game, Team Ninja resurrected Ninja Gaiden and produced this amazing and extremely violent game that even got censored in some regions. It may have a really poor story attached and camera views can be frustrating, but the intense action compensates all that. An official online Master Ninja tournament took place across North America, Europe and Japan, with thousands of players competing for a place in the live final, which was held during the 2004's Tokyo Game Show. This is a really difficult game and save spots are few and far between, but again, the combat sequences alone are worth it. Ninja Gaiden is one of the few video games that has the power to make us feel like we've conquered something great. Shadow Warriors was Ninja Gaiden's European title, released back in 1988, and was curiously and almost simultaneously developed and released alongside its home console counterpart for the NES. Even so, the two are distinct versions of the game with just a few similarities. I only managed to play the NES version over at a friend's house and found it extremely difficult, so I've always preferred the arcade version. Also played the ZX Spectrum and Amiga ports back in the day, and the latter is a pretty solid one that obviously came from the masters in arcade conversions, Ocean Software. The game takes place in United States locations such as Las Vegas, Los Angeles, the Grand Canyon, North Carolina and Brooklyn, and there is a boss fight at the end of each one. We play as Ryu Hayabusa, whose mission is to avenge the death of his father. He soon discovers an evil and supernatural conspiracy intended to unleash a terrifying evil upon the Earth. The attract mode from the arcade cabinet is iconic, but even more iconic is the continue screen, where our character is tied to a table while a circular saw is being lowered towards him, begging for more coins to be inserted. Ryu's life is in our hands. This arcade version is also included as an hidden bonus game in Ninja Gaiden Black, exclusive to the original Xbox and released back in 2005. Bad Dudes came at a time when movies featuring ninjas were all over the place, mainly with the American Ninja franchise starring Michael Dudikoff. And needless to say, I wanted to be like him. I wanted to be a freaking ninja. And I love games with ninjas. Bad Dudes vs Dragon Ninja, or just Bad Dudes, or simply Dragon Ninja, offers 6 levels of intense action, beating foes over and over to complete each level. Obviously that a game like this would have an end-level boss, 2-player co-op and power-ups like extra health, extra time and weapons. We start off in Washington, D.C., where President Ronnie was kidnapped by the evil Dragon Ninja. This reference to President Ronnie or Ronald Reagan was removed from the NES port and changed to simply the President, cause Nintendo of America did not allow political content in their games. And besides the NES, Bad Dudes vs Dragon Ninja was ported to practically all computers and consoles of the time. Never had a chance to play the Ninja Warriors at the arcades, but loved it on the ZX Spectrum and later on the Amiga. And I guess that it was the intro music that really grabbed my attention. Even so, this plain and repetitive gameplay is perfect for this type of controller. The huge success of Sunset Riders led to Konami's decision of using that exact same template and release 2 years later Mystic Warriors that offers that exact same mechanics, but in a different and futuristic setting that even pays an homage to its older brother right in the beginning of the game. So we play as one of 5 ninjas presented and must find our way through these enemy-infested levels accompanied by a freaking amazing soundtrack playing in the background. Enemies and bosses attack us not only from the sides but also from the top and bottom of the screen, and there's a few interesting weapons and power-ups to send them back to where they came. Ninja Spirit is another almost arcade-perfect port in where we have the ability to create shadow copies of ourselves, mimicking our every move. It was one of the early games that showed all the system's graphical power with multi-layered backgrounds and giant bosses. Its solid control system is what makes Ninja Spirit a winner, with fast-paced action and awesome and ingenious power-ups in where we have to hunt down an evil enemy and avenge the death of the father of the main protagonist. Besides the original arcade version, this port also offers a friendlier PC Engine mode in which a handy health bar is present. Very welcome, cause in the arcade mode, and just like in the original game, a simple touch from an enemy means instant death. The TurboGrafx version of Ninja Spirit was the first game in history to receive a 10 out of 10 in Electronic Gaming Monthly. So it seems that no one talks about this, but in Europe, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was known as Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, cause some brilliant mind thought that the word ninja was just way too violent for our European fragile minds. Just can't quite know why. On screen, he splashed the altered logo and the music playing is the exact same old song from the animated series repeating ninja over and over again.
Hang on, April!
But never mind, it was my first experience with a 4-player arcade video game, and that's not just one more video game, it's one of the greatest titles ever made for arcades, and seeing all 4 turtles in action is so overwhelming that it looks like if we're part of an episode of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated series in which the game is based. So we have to rescue Splinter and the lovely April, and for that we must find our way through hordes of foot soldiers and face the Turtles' worst enemies. It's still for me the best Turtles video game ever. What an awesome evolution from the original Shinobi video game. At least that's what I think. The introduction of the attack dog was a feature that blew my mind. The possibility to send our best friend in front, scouting the terrain, simply added a bit of strategy to this action-packed title. But please bear in mind that if you take too long to kill the enemy being beaten, your most beloved friend can be hurt and turned into a puppy, leaving his master on his own for the rest of the level, or when he disables one of the many time bombs scattered throughout the level. In the end of each stage, there's the usual boss confrontation, in where we are unable to rely on the dog's loyalty, so we're on our own again. And the train level, in which the train itself speeds up through the city, is so awesome and keeps the adrenaline levels really elevated. Revenge of Shinobi was awesome, but I've enjoyed a lot more this third chapter, Return of the Ninja Master. Our trustful ninja has now new skills: flying kicks, swing across ceilings, ride horses, and even surf. Yeah, isn't this dude the coolest ninja ever? This title was in development for about 4 years, something unthinkable back in early 90s, but the wait was worth it, cause for me, it's the best Shinobi game to ever see the light of day. So, prepare yourselves for 7 levels of furious martial arts awesomeness. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Cheers!